Excellent. So good evening, Derek, my good friend. You're the only one with me at the moment, so you get me all to yourself for a little while. We will be joined by a few others shortly. I'm sure people have a habit of arriving a few minutes late. Um, they've obviously got good reasons, but the important people are here, so we're going to get started. My name's Andy Galloway. It's Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock UK time, and this is a presentation on behalf of E-Estates. So what I'm going to do is, in a minute, I'm going to go into a standard presentation. Before that, I'm going to show a video that I saw earlier today that I was quite fascinated by. So I'm going to share my screen and start this particular video. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. And according to Zoom, everyone can see my screen now. So let's get this video.
And once again, we're going to go down to the land plot, okay? And we're going to put in the entire amount. So that's going to be 51,831.11. So we'll just do the 51,831. I don't know if we can do the 11. Let me try it. Okay, because you can see there, my profit's going to be $419.83 per day. Per month, it's going to be over $8,088.16. That's almost $9,000 a month. Total profit for the 18-month period is going to be $158,000 plus $695.74. Break-even point is 5 months, so it's got a super quick break-even point, and we're going to go ahead and purchase that now. Once again, we are not going to do the enable auto capitalization. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and purchase the product. Pay now.
So there it is, guys. That Los Angeles property alone is going to be netting me over $100,000 a year. I'm so excited to be a part of it, guys.
Okay, so I'm going to change my screen share over now to my presentation, because I just wanted us to see that land plot deal because it's so lucrative. At the end of the 18 months, he then got his 51,000, or he will get his 51,831.11. That'll come back to him. So as well as all of that profit that he's made, he'll receive back the initial capital. If you work that out, that's something like 430% over 18 months. There's an enormous deal. I've been in real estate for about 20 years. I've never seen a deal as good as that. And wish that we all had $50,000 we could put into that deal. But of course, there will be other deals in the future. We will be taking part in those deals. The important thing is to get started and build up, and and get your capital out working for you. There's a very definition of capitalism, isn't it? That we stay at home and we get our capitalism. So get our capital out working for us. So here we are, an introduction to E-Esate. So what is E-Esate? Well, all industries are moving from offline to online. You can see this all around you. All the different industries that used to have bricks and mortar businesses. They used to have warehouses down the road. People go and work there. They had offices. People go and visit the people in offices, and that's getting fewer and fewer businesses are following that model now. I dealt with a firm of barristers the other day, top level lawyers the other day, and where 15 years ago I would drive to their offices in London and have a big meeting with them. We did it over Zoom. I'm not complaining. That was a much better use of my time. But even the professional businesses where you don't actually need to meet in person, they're just not doing that. Obviously there are some who still do need to, but all industries are moving from offline to online. Taking advantage of the digital age means more than just having a web presence, more than just having a website, although for many years that's, people thought that was all they needed. But it was just an online window into your existing offline business. It was like advertising that had a wider reach than the advertising you would do locally in your local newspaper, or leaflet drops, or television, radio advertising, whatever it is. Online, there are no borders, so people from far and wide could access your business, your products, your services. But digitization means more than that. It means reinventing your online business as a business that operates on the blockchain or within the Web3 space. It's not just having a website, which I made that mistake. I thought that that's all it was. So products may still be in the real world, but the business of acquiring, marketing, and selling those products occurs in a digital space. So the way that real estate has moved into the blockchain space is via tokenization. And that's a mechanism used by many offline industries to create an online digital representation of their offline products. You may have seen famously works of art are digitized. People sell NFTs, which are a small share in a work of art. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that that's not just a way of the artist making a lot of money, whether the art is worth anything or not. I've not heard of anybody then reselling their share of that art, but it gets added into people's assets and balance sheets. So I suppose I can't criticize too much. I just never understood why people would do that. But tokenization of real assets is a way of bringing it to bringing something that only a few people could afford. You could tokenize it and bring the fractional portions of that product, that service, that real world asset to the masses. So, for example, you could build a skyscraper that's worth $10 million, 10 million pounds, whatever it is. And you don't have to find somebody to buy that whole skyscraper. You can find thousands of people who want to own $1,000 worth of it, $10,000 worth of it. And you can only do that through tokenization. Through any other means, the whole deal just gets far, far, far too complicated. Could you imagine a high street estate agent trying to sell a small portion of a house that he's trying to sell a small portion to 4,000 people? The paperwork alone would just wipe out all of his profits and a lot more. But E-Esate is a business that's operating in the forefront of tokenized real estate. Tokenized real estate's been around for about 11 years now, but for many of those years, they didn't realize what they had in their hands. What they would do is they would treat it like the old real estate. They would take a property, tokenize it, and then try and find somebody to buy all the tokens. So they were still trying to sell a big property to a big buyer. And E-Estate has realized that they can actually put us, just ordinary men and women, in the frame by tokenizing and making it available through their system. So they're leading the fight, if you like. They're leading the charge. And it's a collaboration between two pre-existing companies, Eli Property Group Incorporated and the Association Real Digital Realtors. So Eli Property Group, I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on each of those. Eli Property Group Incorporated represents a real estate execution layer of the ecosystem. So needless to say, with a tokenized real estate business, you need somebody taking care of the real estate end of the deal. And that's what Eli Property Group Incorporated does. The reason they do it is because they've been around in real estate for 50 years, 1973. So that's 53 years now. So, you know, that's pretty good. There are a lot of businesses that don't survive 53 years. If you survive more than about 10 years, you know you're doing something right. 53 years puts you in a special kind of club that you're doing something right. You're doing a lot of things right. And when I first got involved in this, I actually looked up Eli Property and I went through them with a fine-tooth comb. I looked at all their financial filings for the last 50 years, their websites going back to 1997 when they first put their first website up. I looked at a lot of the things they've done, and they've been involved in this industry. They've been very successful in this industry without E-Estate. But of course, tokenization and digitization and blockchain is the future even of real estate. So Eli Property Group is leading the charge. So the company has acquired, managed, developed and sold properties across multiple US markets, and they provide asset sourcing, go and find the properties. They manage the properties. They the operational execution, purchasing and tokenizing and preparing it for us to buy tokens, part shares of that property. So that's what they do. They take that. All of that would normally be a headache to somebody in real estate. These people deal with all that. They even deal with the tenants, which is the bane of most property businesses. So the Association Real Digital Realtors is a professional standards assessment body, if you like. So they have developed the professional standards specifically to deal with tokenized real estate. This supports the emergence of digital real estate agents, such as I am and many other people within E-Esate are. You don't have to be. You could just be a buyer, and that's absolutely fine. You don't need any approval for that. But if you want to become a digital real estate agent and represent digitized real estate and tokenized real estate and represent E-Estates, then you must become registered with ARDR. And there's a simple process on the website that takes you through how to do that. And you become a professional distributor of tokenized real estate assets, not just somebody who joined a website. You need to actually know what you're talking about. ARDR is a professional association that establishes credibility, structure, and long-term career legitimacy for digital real estate agents. And they've established and continue to develop a global agent network for digital real estate agents. And I am part of that. And you can be as well if you want to. So this all starts over here with Eli Property Group sourcing the properties, take care of the legalities, tokenizes the properties, deals with the tenants, and presents the properties then on the E-Esate platform. The tokenized properties are made available to the buyers. The buyers, which is where everybody starts, buyers assess the deals, purchase the properties, and organize their own portfolios. Okay, so you might only want to buy apartments, or you might want houses, you might want apartments, you want a mix of everything. It's entirely up to you. The agents then encourage buyers, not just in a kind of a friendly way, if they want to become agents themselves. So anybody who joins the buyer can also upgrade to become an agent. And then the having become an agent, ARDA ensures the standards are monitored and that we all comply with those standards. So you, in the process of becoming an agent, you agree to uphold those standards. It's fairly low level in terms of, you know, promising things you have to do. It's not onerous, but it is important because we want to be, and we are, a professional operation, not just something somebody thought up last Tuesday. So where are the properties available? Well, I'll give you a clue. It's this place. This is where we all live. So let's have a look at some of the locations. We've got properties in Seattle. We've got properties in Oregon. We've got properties in California. We've got several properties in California. You saw just now, Vaughan was buying part of a villa in California. We have properties in Miami, Florida. We have properties in Phoenix, Arizona. We have properties in Dubai and in Bali, Indonesia. We have new properties coming on all the time. There's another one to go on this map, and I haven't added it yet. We're just waiting for the ink to dry on the paperwork. Then we will have a new property, because our job is to sell all of these properties, and then Eli Properties' job is to get us more properties. They should be bringing in properties faster than we can sell them. So the game is afoot. The challenge is on. But they're doing a great job. They are bringing on more properties all the time. So what properties are available? We've got apartments, houses, we've got a lake house, desert villa, ordinary villas, tourist villas even, commercial properties, business properties, land plots. The land plot is the one that Vaughan was purchasing there in the video just now. We have development projects and business development projects. We may have some other property categories at some point, but I think that covers pretty much everything. I can't think of another category. There might be, I don't know. So we're powering connectivity to tokenized real estate. We've got 11 real estate projects at the moment, and those real estates are worth $104 million. And then we link the real assets, the blockchain infrastructure, and buyers. So this all gets linked up together, and we sold 2 million, over 2 million EST tokens, and an EST token is worth about $10 at the time that the property was valued. Okay, so that's about $20 million worth of real estate has been sold. And then by selling it, that generates commissions and bonuses. So they've paid out over 2.6 million to buyers in terms of payouts. Then that enables the EST holders to participate as fractional ownership of real estate and to receive some passive income. So there are 5,679 of us. That was on the 1st of January, I believe. And we are available in over 120 countries. Our website is available in over 120 countries. This was written up on the 1st of January, so it's probably a little bit out of date by now. This is a new development that's coming up soon. It's a new villa. It's a tourism villa, and it's worth it's been tokenized into 330,000 EST tokens. Because each one of those is worth $10, the property is worth $3.3 million. Okay, and this property is for people who want to take holidays. They book the apartment, they also book the villa there for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, whatever they like. Okay, and these places are fully booked. I tried booking, in fact, I did succeed in booking a villa in Spain for a month last year. And whilst I was able to do it eventually, it wasn't very, very easy because the places just book out. If you hesitate, if you think I'll come back and look at it again tomorrow, you've missed the boat. These places book out. And this one in Maui in Hawaii is going to be no exception. There's never going to be a problem with this thing being an income producing asset. So it's currently undergoing tokenization. It will expand the US tourism segment. And the full structure and participation details will be published once tokenization is finalized. That's what I said. The ink's not yet dry, so we just need to hold off on that. This is an interesting situation, and you may like this. This table was lifted directly from the 2025 financial report that E-Esate submitted because it's a professional company, so they make financial reports. One of the things they did, one of the properties is this development at the bottom here in Dubai. Where are we? Okay, this development here in Dubai is valued now at, it was valued initially at $25 million. Is now worth, on the 1st of January 2026, $40 million. Now, if you can still get tokens for this, I'm not sure if you can, but if you can, you'll be buying a share of a development that was valued at 25 million, that you can still buy those tokens as if it's still 25 million, but as soon as you buy those tokens, you know the price has gone up to 40 million. How awesome is that? Wouldn't you like to be able to buy a property now, for example, at 2000 prices, the year 2000? So the price is $500,000 now, but in 2000 it was only 300,000. So you don't pay $500,000 now, you pay 300,000 because that's what it was when this was tokenized. I think that's pretty awesome. So let me just point out what that is. That's a 62% increase. As soon as you buy those tokens, they've increased in value 62% the second you buy them. I think that's pretty awesome. And I keep checking to see if there are more of these tokens available. So what we can do, we can register as a buyer, and within a buy, so it takes about 2 minutes to register as a buyer, and you can buy your first property in 2 minutes. You don't need to worry about finding the deals that are provided for you. You don't need a lot of capital. You can get in for a few $100 or more if you want to, of course, but the minimum is somewhere around about the $100 mark. And you don't need to get a mortgage. You don't need to qualify for a mortgage. You don't need to fill in forms. We don't need to interrogate your employer to find out how much you earn. None of that. You don't need to pay legal fees. You don't need to go and find tenants. And if there are voids in the property, it doesn't affect your income at all. And in fact, I don't believe they would have voids. Can you imagine that villa in Maui having no tenants for a week? It's just not going to happen. And when you get your fixed yield income, it's all yours. You don't need to pay out anything with a proper real estate. Sorry, with a traditional real estate business. Yes, you get all your income, but you then have to pay all of your costs. You've got staff costs and insurances and taxes and all sorts of things to pay out your accountant and your heating and lighting and your advertising and so on. This is a fixed yield income and it's all yours to keep. So some properties have an automatic buyback at the end of the 18 months, which I told you about with Vaughan's land plot there. This buyback also returns your initial capital, and I'm going to give you a monetary example of that in a little bit. As an agent, you can register your clients within 2 minutes. Now, an agent introduces buyers. Okay, so a buyer generally doesn't introduce other buyers. They may become an agent fairly soon afterwards, but generally it's an agent that introduces a buyer because they have a referral link that that people can follow to sign up as a buyer. Okay, a buyer doesn't have that link. So E-Esate markets to your clients. So imagine you now are an agent, so you register your clients within 2 minutes. You don't need to market to them. E-Esate do. You don't need any skill required to negotiate with your clients. You haven't got any legal fees to pay. The active phase of profit that returns your capital outlay is between 2.5 and 3 times during the first 18 months. The passive phase of profit that returns a yield of 10% per year for the life of the property. And there are no ongoing costs for repairs, tenant replacement, etc. You don't pay out, you get paid. Very, very different real estate model, I can tell you. So you can earn deal commissions when your clients or their clients buy property, and that goes down 8 levels. And you can earn profit commissions when your clients or their clients earn ongoing daily income, and that goes down 5 levels. And you earn increasing bonuses as you build your business to a maximum of 10 levels. So that when your business achieves a certain size, a certain volume, then you'll receive a $10,000 payment for doing that. So, and there are other levels along the way. There's 10 levels of achievement. The good news is you can recruit as many buyers and as many agents as you
Also, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave.
Okay, there we go. And ongoing support of your buyers and agents is provided by the company, so you don't have to worry about that. So imagine investing $100,000 in E-Esate right now, buying a development property. Return ROI of your $100,000 is around 5 months. The profit for the remaining 13 months is $231,000. So during the 18 months of the active phase, you receive $331,000. You put 100 in, you get 331 back. And then after the 18 months period is up, you're going to get your $100,000 back, which means you've actually turned $100,000 into $431,000, which is a 431% gain. You can do that in the next 18 months. Now, you might not have $100,000, but if you know anybody in real estate, it's quite realistic for them to have $100,000, because real estate people, when they're doing a lot of these deals, they have lines of credit of several $1,000,000. Okay, so $100,000 for the person who sees this and understands it, a real estate person would jump at this. Okay, so what to do now? Get back to the person who invited you onto this Zoom call or the person who sent you this video and get their E-Esate agent's referral link. Register and look around the site. There's a huge amount of information there. Discuss your real estate plans with your introducer. What do you want to achieve? Where are you coming from? What's your knowledge and experience, your understanding? How much money do you want to invest? Is that a one-off investment, or is it going to be, a small amount every month you're going to be? So all these things, and your your agent can help you plan how to achieve your goals. If you want to introduce other people, I suggest registering as an agent as soon as you can. And then you deposit your investment funds and make your first purchase. Join the E-Estate Telegram groups, Facebook groups, etc. They're all available in the back office once you've registered. So further training for agents. There are Zoom calls every day, sometimes several different Zoom calls on a day. So this is all part of an agent's ongoing training. So we have this event happening in Houston, as we say in the UK, on April the 25th. So you can discover how tokenization is reshaping real estate, unlocking the future of real estate. Okay, limited seating. So this is all available in the E-Esate channel on Telegram. So find this poster and there's the information there about how to register. Now these guys do a Zoom call 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on the days that they post this. Okay, so it's real estate passive income, the new wave of wealth. A full online presentation, a full workflow of how E-Esate works for both investors and agents. So that's basically what I've gone through, but in a lot more detail. And boss it up, Kelly. She's, she'll tell you everything you need to know. On Wednesdays, Vaughan Morrill, the guy that we showed his video just now, he does a Wednesday webinar. And again, the times are there. And you can get all this information on the Telegram group and go there and be part of these webinars. Okay, Anthony Deloach, one of the first speakers I heard in E-Estate. Tremendous guy, got a great following. Lots of people tune into his Zoom calls every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 2 p.m. BST, I think that's British Standard Time. Okay, so as I said, there are plenty of opportunities to learn more. Anthony also does the agent accelerator session for the agents, and it's kind of like the in-depth skills you need to help you grow your agent's business. It's some of the skills you might need: how to invite people, how to get investors, how to earn commissions, and so on. A lot of great stuff on these webinars. And of course, everybody does different things, understands different things. And if you still need more information, then you have access to your own back office. You have on the menu option, you have a knowledge base, and you can see there's a roadmap to the future of tokenized real estate. Tremendous document. Open my mind when you see a company that's got a plan lasting at least the next 9 years. It fills you with hope, gives you a warm fuzzy. Some people worry about the validity of the company, where you can find their company registration certificate in the back office, legal entity identifier certificate, partnership certificate with ARDR. Lake House, Lakeside, Oregon. So that's an in-depth look at one of the properties. That's the in-depth look at another one of the properties called the Desert Villa. There's a 2005 financial report. There's also an agent employment contract, which you need to sign when you become an agent. A real estate token purchase contract. You get one of those every single time there's a property. So every time you purchase a property, you sign one of these and you can download it and keep it safe. This is like the generic one that's available in the knowledge base. So you can look at that before you ever buy a property. There's a buyer presentation. There's an agent presentation. These are all tremendous things. If you have a friend who wants to look at becoming a buyer, you can just walk him through this PDF document. If you've got a friend who wants to be an agent, you can walk him through this agent document. You don't have to actually present it in a formal way. You just chat together and discuss it. There's an agent charter, an agent code of conduct that you commit to upholding when you become an agent. And then if you want to get started fast, there's some tips there about how to get started fast, the Fast Start playbook. And a lot of people like to be a walking advertisement for their businesses. We have a whole range of merchandise. There's a document here. There's a document here showing all the different merchandise that we have, and there's a website you can go to and order it. So very often people will actually create business. They're wearing a baseball cap or they're wearing a jumper that says something intriguing about E-Estate, and then somebody says, "Oh, what's that?" And you say, "Oh, it's a online real estate business I'm doing. It looks good." And they say, "Well, that sounds interesting." So sometimes being your own walking advertisement is the way to go, and you can do that with the merchandise. So there we have it, an introduction to E-Esate on the 19th of February 2026.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk again. Thanks so much. See you
God bless
soon.
everyone. Have a wonderful
Bye-bye.
weekend. Have a great week.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Andy.
Andy.
Thanks for that.
Bye now.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.